What's good, YouTube? Jason from Team Pop and Go here. I've got a TG Agent deck profile for you. So let's just get started. Triple Hyperion. I'll show you everything and then explain it later, because I've screwed up a few times with like people interrupting and shit. So I'm just gonna quickly show you all the monsters, and then the spells in another cut, and then the traps in another cut. An extra and side deck later, obviously. Double orange light. One honest. I'll explain some of the deck choices too. TG engine, triple Warwolf, double striker. It's TG agents, obviously. Birdman. Sangan, one junk, a Gorz, and BLS. Okay, that's it for the monsters. Do spells next. Spells and traps I should have said, but whatever. 3 dualities, search out the deck, speeds it up like hell, just makes it so nice. Yeah. Double MST to get rid of back row, which is really a pain in the ass for this deck, because if we can't trish really frequently, just lowers the capabilities. A heavy, obviously. Mind control, creature swap, Avarice, 1 Reborn, and 1 Dark Hole, and then traps. I only play 2. I play 1 Dustshoot and 1 Torrential. They're just whatever. Yeah. I'll do extra deck next. Okay, extra deck. Start with Exceeds first. 2 Gotchis, Leviair, Leviathan, because they're just good cards. 1 Armory Arm, 1 Wonder Magician, Cataster, 1 Bryonic, Iron Chain, 1 Gaianite. This needs to be replaced for either Librarian or Ancient Sacred Wyvern, so I'm looking for those 2. A Black Rose, Scrap Archfiend, 1 Stardust, a Trish, and 1 Chimera Tech Fortress. Okay, I'll do extra deck next. My bad, I meant side deck. Do that now. 1 MST, 1 Smashing. Smashing's for Mirror Match. I'll explain that shit later. Double Chain Disc, double Bottomless, 1 Cyber. It's Cyber. 1 Thunder King. Sorry, 2 Thunder Kings. I need another gold. 1 Puppet Plant, 1 Grand Mole, double Crow, and double Veiler. Okay, now I will explain everything after I lay out the deck. Alrighty. Next part of our deck profile, we're going to be explaining some of the more techie picks and why I only played certain amounts of certain cards. So let's start. This is pretty much basic. There's no Veiler here because I played inside. I don't think it's necessary, and it's really hard to find space in this deck for Veiler. Okay, so 2 strikers. I play that because I also play a Junk Synchron and a Birdman, and it's really not necessary to have this number of tuners. So Junk Synchron is pretty much in here for the plays with Warwolf. Junk and Warwolf instant level 3, or sorry, rank 3 exceed, or level 6 synchro. Junk, very good with shine balls, orange light, striker you can bring back. There's lots of targets for it in this deck. or even Earth, I didn't even think of that. It also adds another dark target for BLS, because BLS is normally starved of dark targets rather than light in this deck. So that's one of the techs, I guess. Birdman is another one. It's another instant Trish with Venus, which is always good. You need that in this deck. So that's it for monsters. There's nothing really much to talk about the main monsters. It's pretty much really the techie picks, which are important to discuss. Gorz, obviously. Yeah, okay. I'll get to spells and traps next. Alright, what's good, YouTube? Back with spells here. So, I'll start off with the 3 dualities. It's basic. Pretty much every agent deck has these. If you're playing 2, I can't really see why. If someone wants to convince me to play 2, go ahead and try. 2 MSTs. I don't play 3. 3 is a bit overkill, especially considering I'm playing heavy, and this deck goes into Wonder Magician a lot, so there's less threat of back row. Mind Control, Creature Swap, Avarice, and Reborn. Creature Swap is the one I really wanted to discuss, because it's a tech, and techs are important to discuss for deck building. It's really good. You just take their monsters, especially with the TGs, because you get you switch with their monster, get a search, just a lot of pluses from that. Same with Shine Balls, actually. And one thing I wanted to talk about, no Book of Moon. Book of Moon is really not necessary in this deck. I find it's just a defensive card, and you don't really need defense in this deck, as you can tell by the 2 traps. Most of the time you're just going to be playing conservatively with your TGs, just giving you advantage so that you're not losing anything when they go off. And you can bounce back next turn. That's the most important part about the TGs. For traps, it's pretty like basic, I should say, because you don't really need a lot of traps. I'm thinking of playing double Call of the Haunted. Let me know what you think about that. I'm not really sure if I should or not, but that's why you put these shits on YouTube. That's it for spells and traps. I'll go extra deck next, I guess. Right, YouTube, we're back with the extra deck for this deck profile. So double Gotchi, pretty obvious. You're making Shine Balls and like striker plays. You obviously need these 2 Gotchis just in there to defend the house, I guess. Nothing much to say about that. 1 Leviathan, 1 Levier. There's a lot of 3s as well. This deck is pretty much all 2s and 3s except for your big boss monsters. So, yeah. 1 Armory Arm, because Armory Arm in BLS is an instant OTK if your opponent has a monster. So, well, in attack mode, but whatever. 1 Wonder Magician. Make a lot of 5s with the TG engine, and Wonder Magician is just really good. Pops their back row, lets you draw, lots of pluses with it. Cataster, obviously, staple. Same with Bryo. No one really doesn't play these 2. Iron Chain and Gaianite, I need to take these out, preferably sooner than later. I'm looking for 1 Ancient Sacred and 1 TG Hyper Librarian, a Black Rose to nuke, 1 Scrap Archfiend because I need an extra 7, and Scrap Archfiend was the guy for that time. I think I need a Scrap Dragon for now. Yeah, 1 Stardust, obviously, 1 Trish, again obvious, and a Chimera Attack because I side Cyber. I'll go do side deck now. Hey, what's good, YouTube? It's Jason, back with my side deck. Side deck is pretty basic. Things that you would be wondering why I'm siding is Smashing, Puppet Plant, and Grand Mall. These are pretty much because of the Samurai matchup. We get a lot in my locals, which is surprising. For these 2, I mean, Smashing is for mirror match. go over all the cards individually. Veilers are just generally there for pretty much every deck that uses monster effects frequently. DD Crows for Dark Worlds and Plants. Thunder Kings are for Mirror Match. Cyber Dragon for card queries. They show up in my locals too. Chain Disappearance, obviously Plants, Mirror Match, etc, etc. Bottomlesses for Mirror Match, Dark Worlds, Gravekeepers, I guess, if they ever show up again. These two I talked about already. This is for Gravekeepers too. Grandma I could side maybe against Plants, not really too sure. Smashing an MST. MST is for the spell and trap heavy decks. And Smashing is for Mirror Match. Okay, that's the end of my deck profile. It's going to be pretty long, so hopefully if you've sticked around until this time, kudos to you. Like, subscribe, comment, etc, etc. We really appreciate you watching our videos. Peace, YouTube.